Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be diving into a 3-week adventure itinerary for the Philippines. There are so many islands, so many beautiful places that you might need to choose. I will be showing you all places that we went to and also explaining some of the places that we didn't, so then you can pick and choose whichever you think are the right fit for you. The islands of the Philippines are a massive stretch on planet Earth. You will be needing to get flights. They are not as cheap as you might think. Now, most of the flights were on propeller planes. They're quite small. Having been just on seaplanes in the Maldives, they felt really safe, to be honest.
We spent 5 days in Siargao. The first day we did e-skating, exploring the awesome streets of Siargao, concrete roads, coconut trees everywhere.
There's a reason why I never returned your calls. I wish I could forget it all, but I never returned.
Mick almost lost her balance, but somehow magically, really, they don't ask me how. So I'm trying out an east longboard for the first time in my life, and oh my god, I'm in love with this thing. And to try it here in the streets of Siargao is amazing.
We're on the run, the time has come. I don't hear no alarms. Fall asleep in my arms. A lover's game is
On the second day, it was a nice sunny day, so we took a trip up north. In total, I think we drove 3 to 4 hours.
'cause there's a part of me that you don't talk. I'd run to kiss your mouth. Is it me or just a dream that never dies? There's a reason why I never returned your calls. I wish I could forget it all, but I never returned your calls, 'cause I'd fall in again. I still find thoughts of you in the corners of my bedroom. Sunday comes too soon. The radio plays our favorite tune again.
Third day, we went wakeboarding. Super cool, like such a good setup. And it was my first time actually managing to wakeboard.
There's a reason why I never returned your calls. I wish I could forget it all, but I never returned your calls, 'cause I'd fall in again. I still find
Big tuħ tal-aħam the next few days, cutting off the meat for those who don't understand Maltese. On the fourth day, we just decided to go to the Maasin River.
radio plays our favorite tune again.
The Maasin River rope swing was not there when we had gone. A storm had damaged the tree. I do not know if it's still that way. However, it's still worth visiting. There's a jumping platform and it's quite a cool place. Siargao is one of those places that is so particular that I'll keep remembering actually for a very long time. It is such an untouched green land, but at the same time, there's such a thriving skate and surf community and such a good vibe, not overpopulated or over touristic at all. You do want to stay in the General Luna area. It is the place basically where there's a bit of a nomad vibe going on. There are some amazing restaurants, so I'd highly recommend staying in General Luna, renting a motorbike then to move around. Leaving Siargao with the propeller plane, I did spot like that the northwest looked really amazing. I have searched a bit on Google Maps and it seems like there are some nice places to visit, so you might want to check the northwest of Siargao. We then went to Cebu for 3 days and we stayed in Moalboal. We decided to stay on the outskirts. We stayed in an amazing place called Casa de Moalboal.
We went to actually watch the Sardine Run. It was a bit touristic for our liking, but it was still amazing to see like massive balls, and it was still amazing to see, you know, massive balls. It was still amazing to see like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of sardines. Now we've come to Osmeña Peak. The roads so far have been incredible. The view is, oh my lord, kind of view.
Baby, I feel right. The music sounds better with you.
Can I get up?
Just a 15-minute 20 swim away from Casa de Moalboal, there is a turtle point. You can either kayak it, it will take obviously way less time. However, the swim was quite amazing. There were so many different types of starfish.
We're dying, like all this after 5 hours or 4 hours doing the Kawasan Falls.
It is obviously touristic, however, the other tourists don't really ruin the experience for you. Lots of like rock slides, jumping into turquoise waters. There's an insane zip line which you can do in the beginning. Obviously, this is an additional expense. Depends obviously if you're running on a very tight budget or not. It was definitely a fun thing, especially because you're pace forward, and yeah, it was just something I would highly recommend you to do.
I can see the fear in her eyes.
Get the cool, get the cool to shine, get the cool, to shine, get the cool to shine, get the cool to
One of the things to do in Cebu was something I was so excited to do. It was probably not my #1 thing to do in the Philippines, and that was to go to Oslob and swim with whale sharks. However, upon researching about it a bit more, I realized how unethical it was. I spoke to my cousin who had just done it, and she said, to be honest, it wasn't even so much of a thrill, you know, just because of how it all happens. I realized, you know, this is not how I want to witness a whale shark. I did eventually witness a whale shark. There's a whole video about that and how I did find this place where you have boats taking you into the wild, where whale sharks do frequently visit. The place is called Donsol. They're having made the itinerary, we couldn't fit it in with all the flights and everything. It's not too far from Manila, if I'm not mistaken, but yes, you will need to do some research on how to get there. Wild encounters, I promise you, are like 10 times better. From Cebu, we got a flight to El Nido, and from there we went straight into El Nido town.
We've made it to Nacpan beach. We rented a bike from El Nido. Took us about like half an hour. Decent roads. There was some rocky part, but bumpy part, but other than that, it was quite fine. There aren't too many signs. That was our main problem, but you just see like where everyone is going, like find a tuk-tuk or something, and yeah, just follow them. And yeah, Nacpan seems beautiful.
Before I get too lost in the road, and I don't want my life to be the first thing I see when I wake up. And I don't want my life to be coming from my screen with pretty pictures and makeup. And I don't want my life to be.
What in the toilet's name? I'm guessing they ask you what you need to do, and then you need to pay according to what you need to do. Alright, so we are doing some tours. We're in El Nido, and we've decided to do 2 tours. There is Tour A, Tour B, Tour C, and Tour D. Basically, they're all different like locations, although some of them overlap. We've decided to do A and B. Today we're doing Tour A, and this is Big Lagoon. It is honestly like what you imagine from the Philippines. Beautiful, beautiful turquoise waters. It is a bit touristic. Tour A is the most touristic tour. However, So far it's already worth it. Although you kayak into Big Lagoon and there are loads of kayaks, it's quite big. You still find your own spot, and it's really, really beautiful to swim in.
And I don't want my life to be coming from my screen with pretty pictures and makeup. And I don't want my life to be the things that I've bought and what I've sold. Adventure, here we come. But it takes time for flowers to grow, for embers to heat in a campfire. There's no point planting seeds to sow it. Heat you're willing to yield, you can only admire. And it takes time for flowers to grow, a mountain to climb if you wanna go higher. There's no point planting seeds to sow it. The stillness that you wanna feel, you can only admire. If you get too lost in it all, and I don't want my life to be me. First thing I see when I wake up, and I don't want my life to be coming from a screen with pretty pictures and makeup. And I don't want my life to be the things that I've bought and what I've sold. And I want my life to be the morning sun when I wake up. And I want my life to be road trips and love songs and things that make your heart strong. And I don't want my life to be the things that I've bought and what I've sold. Adventure, here we come.
3 days before, I got in a call with my cousin Steph and her husband Kenneth, and they basically helped us map out the whole trip. And one of the things she told us to do, like 100% do it, was the Tao expedition, which is a 3 or 6 day sailing expedition. You go from either El Nido to Coron or Coron to El Nido, and you basically go on remote islands on this boat, sleeping on remote islands. It was the best, one of the best things I have ever done. There is a whole video about it. I will link it in the description below. And yes, then we got to Coron. Now this is where we didn't have enough time. Doing the Tao expedition obviously meant that we didn't have enough time maybe to do other things like Balabac and Bohol, or maybe Coron a bit better. Of course, if you have more time, I would suggest doing maybe both. You might be wondering, should I stay in Manila? Should I check it out? Trust me, there is nothing to check out in Manila. To get out of there the second you can. Filipino people in general were some of the nicest. They're constantly singing wherever they are, whether they're in a taxi or in a restaurant. So yes, that was the 3-week cinematic itinerary for the Philippines. Please, if you have any sort of questions, let me know in the comments. I will check them all and get back to you ASAP. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting more about Sri Lanka, Maldives, later on South America, probably more videos about the Philippines. So please, if you enjoyed the video and you want to help me out, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!
Some people are excited to see turtles, some people just want to peel people.